Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us on the 101st episode of Lightbulb Moments. And we are live on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to check out past Lightbulb Moments episodes and more at Cunity. Remember, money's not the most important thing in life, but it is reasonably close to oxygen on the gotta have it scale. I'm Tom Kuhn from Cunity. Also Cunity for Schools, as well as the Cunity Data and Research Institute, as well as a board member of Beauty Changes Lives. We're here to provide financial related training, as well as execution related training through our Cunity in Action program, as well as a suite of visual tools to help create a clearer and simpler path towards greater prosperity using a simple, visual, and actionable approach. Financial wellness for pro beauty is really what makes us tick, whether it's our money course for students, money pro for professionals, or money SBO for owners. We're pleased to help champion financial wellness with many of you for the professional beauty and wellness industries. Remember to prosper, manage your ATM, your attention, time, and money. It is not lost on me how precious your time is. So thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Whether you're live with us on YouTube, whether you're listening to the recording, we're glad you're with us. Last week's Lightbulb Moments really was more of a celebration of 100 episodes. Thank you, Robert, for your comment in the chat there. Centennial episode of Lightbulb Moments, which really review as a crossroads to look at what the next 100 episodes might look like. We introduced you to our producer, Sonia Eklund. She's from our learning and development team. We now also have a website. It's a functional website where you can do things such as suggest guest ideas, lightbulb moment ideas, or requests to go in the barrel, which is for those of you that are familiar with the Cunity system, as well as our conferences, we have opportunities for people to share a critical issue, a challenge, etc., through an interactive and somewhat intense exercise called In the Barrel. If you're interested in that, reach out to us. We'd love to discuss whether you'd be a good topic for that. Well, my light bulb moment for the week really kind of traces back a little bit further to a few different dots that I want to connect for all of you today, which will lead us into our guest, Jenny Weaver of Ally Health. So earlier in the spring, when we did phase 1 of the compensation study, we had a survey that asked what benefits were offered by participants. And these are beauty and wellness, small businesses, salons and spas, employee-based all over the country. And all of these different benefits were listed. On the bottom, at 17% in terms of offering was employee assistance, so helping with mental health issues, as well as financial wellness. And that was not lost on me or any of us. We feel like the financial wellness option is now available through Money Pro, which we're super excited about. Obviously, financial stress and financial worries impact things such as productivity, creativity, causes absenteeism, etc. So we're passionately bringing this to the marketplace. But there's also this subject of mental health. And it's a conversation that is a very important and lively conversation right now. 4 in 10 workers report decline in mental health, delay in healthcare, according to a Hartford survey. And to go a little further into that, they share that, I need to minimize my screen here for a moment, if you'll bear with me. 42% of US workers report declines in mental health, while a similar percent, 43%, have delayed routine healthcare appointments since the pandemic. These delays have also come at a time when many report declines in social well-being, financial security, and physical health, as well as mental health. Also, Inc. magazine, I think I got this maybe yesterday morning, is my employee's mental health is affecting her work. And then finally, Washington Post, this is why it's so hard to find mental health, excuse me a second, counseling right now. It's worse than ever. I've never seen it like this. The pandemic has caused nearly 2 years of collective trauma. Many people are near a breaking point. Now, my wife's a health coach and she's on the front line. And in many cases, health-related coaching leads very quickly and abruptly into mental health. And so she's on the front line experiencing this. So let me connect some more dots for you to introduce us to our guest, who will be Jenny Weaver of Ally Health. So around the same time, I was in LinkedIn, which I'm seldom in LinkedIn, but I happened to see that Jenny Weaver, she had been in the field of benefits, but she had moved over to this company called Ally Health. And I met Jenny many, many years ago when she was I call it an account executive with a major beauty brand out in the Bay Area. And, I haven't really stayed in touch with Jenny, but I think I did a congratulatory, a comment in LinkedIn or whatever. And it just led to a warm conversation we had, just getting caught up. And she started filling me in about this Ally Health, which is really telemedicine. And really, I think what many would consider to be the future of healthcare, that included not only telemedicine, but also mental health services. So anyway, let's, without any further ado, Jenny, let's bring you into the conversation. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Tom. I'm well. How are you?
It's good to see you today. And so you are down in sunny Arizona. That's correct?
I am.
All right. Well, thanks for being our guest today.
Absolutely.
So you have been really, you've been someone that we as a team have spent some more time with. And because, our main value and the main thing that really makes Qnity stick is impact. And when I see something like, there's a big gap in terms of offerings to employees, what they need and what's being offered, we thought, how can we maybe be a conduit or a catalyst to bring this type of service that you offer into the beauty industry? So thanks for conversations we've had over recent months.
Absolutely. Love it.
So tell us a little bit more about mental health and some of the challenges that really exist in the marketplace with workers in terms of getting mental health appointments, the cost of mental health, et cetera, appointments, et cetera.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tom and team. And I've loved Qnity for a very long time. As you mentioned, we've sort of been in the same network for quite a while, and I'm honored to get to know you guys better as a company and as individuals, and then really spreading our wings and spreading the love and support out to our beauty industry, which I'm super passionate about, always have been and always will be. So the statistics that you shared are spot on to what we're seeing all the time. I mean, those are just maybe 4 articles, but it goes on and on and on, and we hear it in conferences, we hear it in on the news, we see it on LinkedIn, and we see it on Instagram, Facebook. It's everywhere. TikTok, if any of you are on TikTok, people are openly talking about their mental health issues. So if we know that 1 in 5 adults in the United States have a mental health condition, I mean, think about the people that are either in your business or in your network, and even branching out to their adolescents. So or their significant others or what have you. So adolescents is 1 in 6 in the United States have a mental health condition. People need better access to care, and through Ally Health or other services out there, it's becoming more prevalent, but we're still not taking the opportunity to drive it forward and bring the attention specifically in the beauty industry, where, quite frankly, the need is even higher demand just based on the demographics and a series of things. So it's a big deal. Absolutely. So I'm honored to be here.
Let's touch on your background a little bit. So you're a 2nd generation member of the beauty industry, are you not? If we can still call you a member of the beauty industry. Your mother was a hairstylist, or is a hairstylist?
Is, yep.
So your passion, I think, so you work at this company called Ally Health, and bringing it to pro beauty has been sort of a dream of yours. Is that right?
It has, absolutely. So I've been in the beauty industry since before I could walk. My mom is still a hairstylist. She owns a beautiful little salon in the South Bay area, and doesn't get to do my hair very often now that I'm in Arizona, so that's a bummer. But I am a huge advocate for the beauty industry. I was on sort of the sales rep or account executive side, and then even when I rolled into the benefits space, I focused directly on how can I continue to help these small business owners in the beauty industry, because I know there's too many spinning plates. So how can I be a trusted advisor? And maybe I don't have all the answers, but who else can I bring to the table that can help provide more answers, more support in a variety of areas like employee benefits or payroll or HR or whatever that looks like. And that's really where I've sort of found my niche in employee benefits and Ally Health specifically. Though I've only been here for 2 years, I've been trying to figure a way to really bridge that gap into the beauty industry. And our business, we don't work direct. So finding the right partner that also wants to accelerate in the beauty industry and support these groups or companies and small businesses, and it's sort of where we've landed. But I'm so excited. I'm excited to talk about this, to shine more light on this, and then of course have some solutions as well.
So the barriers to mental health care, usually if someone has a mental health need, I mean, they want it now. They don't want to be waiting a long time. And so time and money, we talked about ATM, time and money being precious currencies. And part of the barrier with the traditional model is it's unfriendly from a time standpoint, meaning it's very hard to get in for an appointment. I mean, like months away. And it can be very expensive.
Yeah.
So you have your company has an alternative to that. I think you've addressed both of those issues. So let's talk about that. And
sure.
that this is not a forum for organizations to plug products. That's not why you're a guest on here. This is information. So it's always a fine line here. But when we get behind something, we get behind something. And I feel like we need to get behind this. So tell us a little bit more about how Ally addresses these two challenges, time and money.
Sure, absolutely. And I'm going to take a step back from that too. And yes, we're not the only solution. We're just one of many, though I take a lot of pride in what we do. And obviously being a partner with Qnity, you have too. So taking a step back about access to mental health care. So we know, for those of you that do have, we call it major medical plan or healthcare plan, you do have access to mental health providers through that plan. So through your insurance. But here's what we run into. 50% of counties in the United States don't have a provider at all. So there's no therapist in your county, period. So you or your employees or other people in your life have to travel to go in person, even a couple hours to get to a provider. So that's step one. If you find a provider, great. Providers aren't taking new patients. 30, 60, 90 days out is pretty typical. So you're waiting 90 days to get an initial visit. Sometimes you don't fit with that therapist, and that's okay. So keep that in mind. You don't have to fit with your first therapist. But what happens if you've already waited 90 days and you don't jive with that therapist? You have to find another one and wait another 90 days. So there's that. Also, a lot of therapists, they're not taking new patients. And again, the ones who are have a huge wait period. And oftentimes they're not taking insurance anymore either. So there's barrier on barrier on barrier to get access to care. So again, you absolutely have access or support through your insurance. What might be a better, faster way is something like a virtual care service, like what Ally Health does. So we have direct access through your phone. It's integrated access either on an app, a website, or you can call in. You can get an appointment within 7 business days, typically, depending on what exactly you're looking for that therapist to specialize in. But if you just generally just want to start talking to somebody and then work through it from there, about 7 business days or less. You have access to psychiatry through us as well. So, within a day or two, you can typically talk to a psychiatrist if medication is something that's important to you in mental health care. And you can work with the same therapist, or if you want to jump around and try a couple different ones to find that right fit, again, please do. You have that ability as well. And it doesn't take you months on months on months to do that. Plus, you can be in the comfort of your home or your, the back room or somewhere at the salon or spa. You probably want a little bit more, but you could, or in your car, or wherever you have time. And maybe it's 11:30 at night, kids are in bed, and you're in your car in your garage, and you're able to have this conversation and then get that continuation of care with a therapist. So there's a lot of flexibility here and a lot more direct access.
Yeah, and one of the things that I want to mention here is that we've learned about Ally Health because we brought it into our company, and so we made it available. We wanted to try it and experience it ourselves before we would bring this in the public, whatever. And in a little bit, I'll invite members of our team to share a little bit about their experiences. But now, Ally Health, just to be clear, so this is an app based. I mean, that's your interface, is a simple app. All right. And so let's say that that I'm an employer, I bring this into my team, as we did, and you get them enrolled. And let's say the very next week, someone has a need for it. So they literally just go into the app. And do you want to describe that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So someone's thinking, hey, I'd like to talk to somebody, or if they want to talk to a doctor too, we can talk about that part later. So I need to talk to somebody. Let me schedule an appointment. So they go into the app. Typically, they've already registered, so they have all of their regular intake information in there, just like any intake you would do with either a therapist or a doctor. And then you get to the I call it Facebook for providers. So you see a list of providers that are available in your state, and they may live in Oklahoma, but you're in California, but they happen to be licensed in California. So that's great. You have more access. But you scroll through the providers. Maybe you want to pick them based on what they look like, some of their specialties, you name it. And there's little bios with them as well. So you can sort of click through, read through those. And then typically there's going to be an ask to send a message and request an appointment. Just like in the beauty industry, where sometimes we want a little bit control over our online booking. So do these therapists. So you'll request an appointment and they will get back to you via the app. So you'll need to check the app and watch for that communication and then schedule an appointment with them that way. It's pretty typical. Sometimes they have an open calendar, but for the most part, it's that correspondence to schedule.
Yeah, here's the app right here. I know my screen has it's washed out in the background, but speaking of this, so Mary just had knee surgery. My wife Mary had knee surgery, and and she did the whole enchilada and all of that. At the end of the day, though, her follow-up care has primarily been virtual meetings with the doc and what have you. It has become so much more mainstream to have virtual care through medical professionals. All right, let's talk about the cost, because without really getting into, if somebody wants to use this service, then they go through a short process and there's a quote and that kind of stuff. But I'll share a little bit about numbers. I mean, it's like under $12, depending on what plan. Mm-hmm. It's like under $12 per employee per month.
Right.
Now, when I look at health insurance and an employer offering health insurance, I think we found maybe 60% of those that participated in the compensation study offered health insurance. This seems to me to be a very low cost and easy way to bring in mental health. And let's talk about telemedicine for a moment here, mm-hmm. and how that fits in. You want to describe that piece to it?
Yeah, absolutely. So through our service, it's like a gym membership. So there's a monthly membership fee or charge, and then it's no cost to use a telemedicine service. So telemedicine is designed for physical outreach for anything that you would go to urgent care for. So anything from, sinus infections, ear infections, urinary tract infections to I have this rash, I have this weird bump, you name it. If you'd go to urgent care, you can use us instead. And then talking about costs, so reducing absenteeism, instead of an employee or even yourself taking 2 to 4 hours away from work to go to urgent care, which you could get further sick from going to urgent care, or the same thing, maybe, and I gave this example, I give this multiple times over, maybe it's 2 a.m., your kid is sick, sinus infection, it's a sinus infection, your kid probably knows it's a sinus infection, doctors know it's a sinus infection. So instead of taking your screaming kid to the emergency room at 2 a.m., with that nightmare, you can use our service sort of as triage, of course, because it may end up being something else, but talk to us first. It costs nothing to use the service. You get a call back within about 9 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer at those early hours of the day. And you can get a prescription sent to a 24-hour pharmacy near you, go pick it up, get it on board with the kid feels better by morning, and then you or your employee is back to work at regular scheduled time. So huge reduction in absenteeism. So that's a big perk for the business and for individuals. Obviously, in our business, if you're not working, you're not making money. So that's a win-win, without a doubt. And then, of course, just benefits in general, kind of going back to what you've been talking about, Tom, in reduction of costs for the business. If we're considering the cost of turnover, or a turnover calculator, if you will, that keeps ticking the more you have people coming and going in your business. So we want to reduce that as much as possible. So let's elevate the employee benefits value. So if you have benefits already, great, but are they doing what you want them to do? And there's a series of answers to that question. This obviously topic is one of them. And also, if you don't have benefits available, what can you do so that you are slowing down that ticker and really, beyond culture and several other things that you do in your business, what's going to keep your employees there and wanting to bring key employees on? And that's where services like this can really enhance a lot of value for $12 or less per employee per month. So definitely opportunity.
So we at Qunity, to help kickstart this, are serving more as the temporary agent. This isn't really necessarily our wheelhouse to offer health-related type benefits, but we love to bring things to the market, and then kind of the opportunity to hand it off to an agent that really can drive this. So in the meantime, for anybody that's involved in joining us today, or on YouTube or YouTube Live, or listen to this recording, we're going to post something in the chat that gives you an email address for more information. So if Michelle can put that in the chat, that'd be great, which is simply allyhealth@qunityinc.com. And that will be temporary until an agent comes in place, which that will be January. And who that agent might be, we will leave a little bit of mystery around, if you will. Okay. So, because I know some of the participants on this call, and I know that I know some of them personally. I know this subject's very near and dear to them. So now, what I thought would be good is to mention a couple other things. So in order to help bring this to the beauty industry, we thought, okay, so how can we make this accessible? How can we kind of kickstart this thing so it gets going? So you are going to be at Serious Business in January, right?
Yes, so excited. Yes, I am.
And Ally will have a booth at that conference.
We will.
So the one and only Carol Augusto, who is, I think she's joined us on this call. She is I don't know, Carol, what your official title is, put in the chat, but you and Deborah Neal are the queens of Serious Business. You're probably the executive director. I know Carol was super excited about this, about Ally actually being, an exhibitor at Serious Business. So that'll be mid-January. So we're going to get to see you down there in person, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it. Now,
rumor has it Mary Kuhn might join you at the booth.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to be awesome. So I'm going to invite Michelle Schuster into the conversation just for a moment, because It's always good to have like a tangible example of, there's Carol. Good morning, Carol. So Michelle, you have a few kids.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. That would be 6 altogether, right?
Yes.
And and Jenny, this is for you. I don't want to overstate this, but so if an employee has this, like Michelle does at Cunity, does that mean all of her kids can have this too?
Yes, absolutely.
There...
So our one membership is the employee or the member, their household and dependents outside the home. And that's exactly what it sounds like.
Now, but I want to hit on this now, but several of her kids are in their later 20s, maybe mid 20s. Sorry, Michelle. And they're out of the house. They are still eligible?
Yes.
Yeah. So my son Ryan is eligible, even though Ryan's 29, and that's awesome. So there's no extra charge. A lot of times with employee benefits, there's employee, then there's plus, you got to pay. So you're saying there's no extra charge?
Correct. Yep. Member, household, and dependents.
So Michelle, your story about using the telemedicine feature, I think is a good one. Why don't you share that one, please?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. I'm so excited about all of this availability. It's been great to get to know about it and have it as an employee at Cunity. My daughter Elena is a cosmetology student at the Aveda Institute in Atlanta. And she called and was having a medical issue. She was having a UTI. We know what that feels like. We don't need a doctor to tell us what's happening. But we called our regular practitioner here, like our family doctor, and we called our OB here, and neither one of them would give her a prescription without a visit, like a physical visit. They wouldn't even do a televisit. These are longtime doctors and providers for us. And so our options were to send her to the emergency room or urgent care, or try and find a doctor in Atlanta for her. And then I remembered that my dependents were covered under Ally. And so I logged in quick. I hadn't added her as a dependent to my account. So I quickly added her to my account, gave her the information to log in and schedule an appointment. No lie, within 15 minutes, she had an appointment, and then we got a prescription sent over, and it was free. It was easy. And we didn't have to go through all that hassle of, trying to find a doctor or an ER in Atlanta.
That's amazing. And, if you think of the stress and the strain, physical, mental, emotional, having to wait is just, it just takes up your attention and time, it's just, yeah.
Yeah. And she had a full day at work, and she would have had to miss work or miss school. She's 6 days a week. So her only day off is Sunday, which, then the option is emergency room. And that's hours of your day and exposed to who knows what at the emergency room.
Let's bring Sonia to the conversation here. Thanks, Michelle. So
Morning.
Sonia, you've got a lot of background when it comes to, given all your certificates, and I can't even remember all of them are, but you would consider yourself to be an expert in this space.
Absolutely.
So I'm interested in some of your feedback on it.
Yeah. So I have about 11 years of experience working in mental and emotional health and well-being. I have been a huge proponent of therapy for my entire life. And what I really was excited about when I got access to Ally was the fact that I could establish a relationship with a therapist, even though nothing's wrong. I like to call that maintenance therapy, and really being able to have easy and quick access to someone when I'm not in a crisis is so amazing. So many therapists are booked out, like Jenny was saying, months and months ahead of time. And unless you are really in crisis, it is hard to get in. And when I logged into the Ally app, we got the email saying you have access to this benefit. And I literally opened the app and scheduled an appointment within like 5 minutes of receiving that email. And I had an appointment in 2 days. I was able to talk to someone, and my experience was that I didn't totally connect with that individual provider. And so I love that I was able to then choose from a whole list of other providers who also had easy access and availability. I think what Jenny said earlier is something we should reemphasize, which is it is normal to not connect with someone on the first try, but it can be so discouraging if you waited 90 days and then you get in with that person and you don't connect with them. It can leave you feeling like you're back to square one. And with Ally, I was like, well, I'm back to square one, but square one is so easy and I can easily schedule another appointment. And I did, and that has been really great. So I am really excited about the quick and easy availability and the fact that you do not have to be in any kind of crisis to establish a relationship with a mental health provider.
Yeah.
I love that.
Awesome. Thanks, Sonia. Thanks, Michelle.
You
So, I don't want this to sound like an infomercial, and it's not an infomercial. We're dealing with some serious issues here, and we're seeing it every single day. And I guess I'm unapologetic in introducing something to the marketplace that I think the marketplace needs. And we see this as, again, fitting under sort of our impact value and the importance of it. So, Jenny, I'm super excited to have people get to know you a little bit more. Super excited for them to meet what we expect will be the agent on this going forward, which would be more the direct contact. And congratulations on really being such a great communicator about this, and for your passion to bring something like this forward into the marketplace, and in particular your passion to bring it into pro beauty. So
Thank you, Tom.
do you have any final words before we do a little ceremony before we excuse you from the conversation?
No, I think the words have been said. I'm really excited to step back into the beauty industry in this capacity. I'm very honored to be a trusted advisor in this space, not just with Ally Health and virtual care, but with employee benefits in general. I love partnering with Qnity. I've been a fan of you guys for a very long time. And of course, Tom and Aaron, as I've met you both first, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. Oh my goodness. So no, just honored to be here, decide myself to go back to serious business in January. So I'll be ready to give some hugs to those of you that will be there that I'm sure I've met at some point in my past life. So thank you again for having me. Thank you, Sonia and Michelle, for sharing your stories as well. Testimonials are incredibly important across the board, and I hear so many every day. So really looking forward to this, and thank you.
All right, so we do need to celebrate you. Let's give Jenny a virtual round of applause here. Bravo. You will be getting your $1 million light bulb within the box too. That should be coming soon to you. So, and join us on Wednesdays. Join us on Wednesdays when you can tune in. I don't even know what time it is in Arizona, because you've got this goofy daylight savings. It's on, it's off. What time are we? An hour difference in the Midwest?
1 hour. 1 hour now. It's 9:30.
And last week it was 2 hours different. Is Arizona the only state that has this going on? I can never figure out what time it is there.
But it's done now. We're never changing again, is what I've heard. So this is it. This is where we stand. I'm part of Mountain Time officially.
All right. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks again, Jenny. And I look forward to seeing you in person down in New Orleans very soon. And let me come back to what else I have to share, which is definitely some other items. So,
okay.
All right. So we welcome you to the Brain Trust. A couple other things. This is an email to use for now for inquiries around this, allyhealth@qnityinc.com. That will go to a member of our team that will serve as an interim contact for you. And then if you decide that you want a proposal, it's pretty straightforward. They've got a very simple proposal system to follow, quote, all that kind of stuff. It's very easy to get signed up. All right. So I'm gonna welcome certain people on this call in a moment, but I want to have you get your calendars out here. And we have some milestones coming up for the Pro Beauty Compensation Study, which we've been working on most of the year. Phase 2, we started in July, and it's coming to a conclusion. And the conclusion will actually be coming up next Thursday in Scottsdale at the Professional Beauty Association Executive Summit. And Aaron Kuhn, the one and only Aaron Kuhn, We'll be doing a keynote at that conference, which is a sold out group of 275 of the leaders in the beauty industry. All the big beauty brands, tech companies, all will be there. And she will be presenting findings from the Pro Beauty Compensation Study, which creates a milestone for us in terms of when we really will have the complete findings. Shortly after that, the report will be done. Many of you have generously participated in the Pro Beauty Compensation Study. We have some very interesting and rich new findings that have come out of this. Our analysts have been hard at work, and so super excited to see this come to a conclusion. The Professional Beauty Association felt this was a big enough topic that this is the very first time that they ever changed the agenda at the conference, was to make room for this topic. So Aaron will be presenting there. The Phil, boy, we are deep into planning on the Phil. We've got some exciting stuff we're going to be announcing very soon. That's coming up May 21st and 23rd. You actually can enroll now, as many of you have. Perhaps you want to pay the fee this year, so you get the early deduction. We'll sell out with this event. But much more will come out in terms of the location. We've also got some new dimensions to the Phil. So we certainly hope that we'll be seeing all of you in May, and hopefully well before that. Serious Business is coming up. Shout out to Carol, who again, I said joined us. We always participate at Serious Business. We have a booth there this year. Cunity does. That's January 15th and 16th at the Roosevelt Hotel. So that's coming up. We're excited about that. Be sure to subscribe to YouTube. Search for Cunity. Also, take advantage of our website. We would love to have you submit Lightbulb moments on our website, which then could lead to you being a guest, or it could lead to you going in the barrel. Closing thoughts. I mean, the best closing thought is really to just see who's with us today, and just acknowledge many of you. I think that's Aki that's on here. Allison, Alyssa, Andrew, Anthony, Bridget, Carol, Cheyenne, Christine, Connie, Dawn, Aaron, Jared, Joe, Karen, Carla, Kat, Kelly, Laura, Mark, Mary, Maz, Megan, Melissa, Michael, Sharon, Sue, Tamika, Terry, Vanessa, and I might have missed some people. If I did, I apologize. Let me see if there's anything in the chat that I should be paying attention to before we sign off here. Sonia has put in, Sonia and Michelle have put in some links here, whether it's for Serious Business, the YouTube channel, Lightbulb Moments, the Phil, and look at that, some great comments in here. Love this, tremendous information from Christine is what she said. Michael, I thought Michael asked a question in here. How do you handle professional licensing issue? I think that's been addressed. How wonderful. All right. So guys, thanks for joining us today. We are, please, if a member of my team can correct me if I'm wrong with this, but I believe that we are off the, you beat me to the punch there. We are off the next 2 weeks. I have a Beauty Changes Lives board meeting next Wednesday in Arizona that has me occupied. And then the week after that is just precariously close to Thanksgiving. We'll be driving that day. So we will see you on November 30th. In the meantime, if you have any Lightbulb moments, please send them over to us. Thanks again to Jenny Weaver. Thanks again to the Cunity team for helping make Lightbulb moments a reality. But most importantly, thanks to all of you for taking your precious time to join us today. I don't believe I have forgotten anything else, so I better check just one more time. And I think we're all covered. So thanks again, guys. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great next week and a great Thanksgiving. And we appreciate you greatly. Bye now.